want to leave our YouTube fans out. And let's see. It says Glenn Broman says it's like watching my mom trying to text. Oh, like you're so damn savvy with all this crap, Glenn. Okay. I'd like to point out right now that we were on Comedy Schools Radio Network and we were on Facebook Live. We had a computer issue. We could have went, all right, no YouTube 2 days in a row because yesterday I didn't do YouTube. I could have went 2 days in a row, no YouTube, and said to hell with the YouTube people. They don't need to watch. They're not good enough. Could have done that, but I'm not like that. And Glenn, you know I'm not like that. I believe in love. Love is all you need. Love is all you need. So we're now live on YouTube as well. So you in YouTube land take great comfort in knowing that those of us here in the Comedy Schools Radio Network.com family care about you. So you got kind of a weird opening there. Hold on, I'm gonna get my soda pop. How about that, Glenn? Was it okay if I got my soda? Don Shell, should Glenn be giving me a hard time like this? Mike Ramsey, should I have to put up with this crap? I have no idea. Apparently, there's now two philosophies in America about how to handle this virus. Two. We started as one, and now two philosophies about how to handle this virus. And one is testing, tracing, treatment, vaccine. That's how we will recover from the virus. The other one is let's go bowling. I'm afraid. Oh, so I don't know if there's any truth to the rumor or roost to the rumor that the Republicans are organizing on the giant mall in Washington D.C. on Memorial Day, a giant sneeze in. They're just going to get together every right-wing Trump supporter, okay, every person that goes on the internet and goes, I'm not afraid, or posts some YouTube video that's some bizarre crap. They're all getting together on the mall in Washington, D.C. Several 100,000 people could have a giant sneeze in. They're just going to sneeze in each other's faces and shit in each other's pants. That's their plan, just to prove they're not afeared. They're going to go find every person hacking up a loogie and give them a big wet tongue kiss. And if it's man on man, it won't be gay because they like Trump. And if you like Trump, you're not gay. I'm not gay. I like Trump. So I'm going to have to track that down. I might be making news here by letting you know that there will be a giant right-wing sneezing on the Washington Mall Memorial Day to show they ain't feared. They ain't feared at all. No virus. What are you talking about, virus? I ain't got no virus. I'm American. What do you use, Mr. Hippie? So, anyway, it's going to be a short show today because I got a big class to teach tonight. Hey, if you're looking for something fun to do this a Friday, write me, Tony Vicich at Comedy Schools at hotmail.com, and I will send you a link to our class clown show. This is the longest running comedy showcase in the Valley of the Sun. It is run nonstop, either live or now on social media. And for a long time, we used to broadcast it on the Comedy Skills Radio Network.com radio station. It's the longest running comedy showcase in the Valley. It's the show that has seen people go from their very first show all the way to national television. So it'll be this Friday. It'll be brought to you this Friday via the magic of Zoom. So that'll be this Friday. Please check it out. If you want to, just write to me and I will send you a Zoom code. Also, I got something for you Sunday. I got something for you Sunday. And I'll tell you what it is. Okay. As you know, now going into our fourth week, the continuous show, Tony Vicich Presents, Sunday nights funnier at 7 p.m. will once again air on Zoom. Tickets are only $10. When you buy a ticket for this show, if you're quarantined with 20 people, all 20 people can watch for $10. If you're all by yourself, you get to see people, and that's got to stand for something. Only $10. And when you see one of those shows, you're helping pay comics, and you are contributing to local food banks here in my area. So please buy a ticket to see that. It's a great show. All right, I've got first timers on that show, Shale Brenner, and also Fred Scott. Somebody else. Oh, and our headliner, our headliner, Mary Upchurch. So Mary Upchurch is fantastic. Mary Upchurch is supposed to do a big June show at the Tempe Center for the Arts that would have sold out, her and Gary Gallagher. As soon as we get back into the Tempe Center of the Arts, they will be one of the first shows that we put on. But you'll be able to see what we think is one of the funniest comedians in America today, a fast rising star. And we're not kidding when we say that. There's no joke or snark. Just she is damn funny. Mary Upchurch this Sunday night, Memorial Day weekend. Tony Vicich presents. Easy to get tickets. Go to ComedySchoolsRadioNetwork.com or ComedySchools.com. And on ComedySchools.com, click Get Tickets. And you'll be able to purchase a ticket to see a show that you will really, really, really enjoy. Really enjoy. Oh, by the way, I guess we had our first big sporting event of the Corona season, Corona era, when NASCAR had a race over the weekend. And I think that was appropriate that NASCAR be the first sport to be brought back, because it's like arguing with a Trump supporter. Shit just goes round and round and round and round and round and round. And a lot of people crash and a lot of people have blowouts. And then nobody really knows who won anyway, because it makes no sense. So that happened. Also, I've noticed like a phenomenon with me psychologically, and I don't know if this is going on with you. When this first started, I couldn't see anybody. I was angry. And now I can see people, and I don't want to. What do I want to go look at people for? Have you noticed that most people that won't wear masks wear one not because of disease, because they're fucking ugly? Have you noticed that? People ain't wearing no mask. I go, well, you should. Well, I ain't got no disease. No, that's not the reason why. You should just put one on, really. You're scaring children. You're frightening human beings, okay? All right. What have I got here as far as memorabilia? Like I said, it's to be a short show because I got a big, long workshop tonight. If you ever thought about doing stand-up comedy, you want to do something fun, do something different, do something outside the box, why not take a comedy workshop? And damn it, if you're going to take one, why not take it with me? Because I'm the best there is at that sort of thing. And that ain't saying much, but it's saying something. Go to ComedySchools.com, get registered for our beginning class starting May 28th, 2020, the year of our Lord, 2020. Here's the first thing I'm going to show you. Look at that award statue. That's my award statue. That's right. You may not know my name. You may not have ever seen my show, but damn it, I've gotten awards. And that is an award statue. It looks a lot like an Emmy Award. It looks a lot like an Academy Award. It looks a lot like a Golden Globe. But what is it, ladies and gentlemen? It is comedian Tony Vicich Schmuckfest, September 24th, 2004. Schmuckfest. September 24th, 2004, where Glenn Vroman, who made fun of me, actually performed. Frank Schmuck is a local politician who, for many years, as he was building his political career, would host charity events, and he called them Schmuckfest. Frank Schmuck. Nationally, people have made fun of Frank Schmuck's name, but I'm going to tell you, I know Frank Schmuck. His politics and mine could not be more different, but he's a great guy. He's a great guy, and he serves the citizens of his community. And I forget if I don't think he's a member of the House. I think he's a member of the Arizona legislature now. He serves the members of his community well, or he was anyway. Frank Schmuck. And he put on these charity events, and I would corral comics and have them perform at the events. Glenn Vroman was one of them. Over this weekend, I will tell you the funny yet sad story of Glenn Vroman right before he went up and performed at Schmuckfest on September 24th, 2004. And Glenn got the applause, but I got the trophy. All right. And you can't put applause on your mantle. But you can, it's pretty heavy too. Like if a bad guy came in here, I could crack him in the skull with it. Whack! I could skull crack a bad guy with my Schmuckfest trophy. Glenn just posted, yeah, we did. I'll tell you the story real quick, okay? We were performing at Schmuckfest, and it was a roast. It was a roast and a comedy show at a charity event. And we were roasting we roasted Luis Gonzalez and Bob Feller, both Hall of Fame baseball players, a few other people. Ken Emmons from National Lampoon Radio was there. Great guy. And like I said, it was a charity event, and it was also raising money for veterans organizations. And Frank, God love him, before the comedy started, said, we just want to acknowledge a couple of families in the audience tonight. They are Gold Star families. I don't know if you know what a Gold Star family is, ladies and gentlemen, but a Gold Star family is someone who has lost a son or daughter in combat. Okay, Gold Star families. And Frank had plaques wanted to honor them. One family came up, noticeably subdued, of course. It's not a joyous occasion, but it's an occasion memorializing a human being who has gone on to their reward. And when he called the second family, the mother stood up, but then she froze. The mother couldn't move. She began crying. She was inconsolable. It was heartbreaking. I was sitting there at my table watching it, and I go, I don't know if this is wonderful or terrible. It's just sad. Uh, the father went up and got the plaque and then put his arms around the mother, and she sat down. The entire room was absolutely silent in reverence and in awe. And then Frank, all right, now how about some comedy? Ladies and gentlemen, Glenn Vroman. And from, it was in the early days of texting on my phone, I got a text from Glenn, who was standing backstage as I was sitting on the audience. The comic I'd hired was backstage. He went, what the fuck? And I wrote back, welcome to show business, motherfucker. And Glenn had to follow that. So we were able to witness the memorializing of two people and their families, and it was a beautiful and solemn and sacred occasion. And we also got a memorable moment for ourselves, because then they decided right away to do comedy after that. And Glenn was the first comic. And I remember going, I'm so glad I'm in management right now. Oh, that's what I sent. I sent him a text that said, that's what you get, fucker. I want to perform. I want to be on shows. Hey, you're doing a show. Can I be on the show? It might be a weird show, man. I want to be on the show. I don't care. I want to be on the show. Can we put him on the show? I put him on the show. And then he's standing back there, and with that woman crying, Frank goes, now let's have comedy. And he says, what the hell? And I wrote back, that's what you get, fucker. It was one of them, going from a very sad, poignant, and important moment for me, going to one of the most enjoyable show business moments I've ever had in my entire. So there you go, Glenn. That's from Schmuckfest, me and you, in 2004, downtown Phoenix, like a Lions Hall or something. That's a memory. Memory. All right. You can tell by my singing that it's oh, I don't want to drop my Schmuckfest trophy. It's so heavy it messes with the table. See that? It made the camera move. Let's get to the music, because the music matters. What I do every day is I recommend, I pull from my vast vinyl collection two vinyl albums. And from that, I recommend either an artist or a band or particular songs. And I got a couple for you here today that I think are going to be pretty cool. So here we go. This is a weird album, okay? This is The Byrds, ladies and gentlemen. The Byrds. Now, this is a later Byrds album, okay? And the Byrds were extremely important in the history of what is now classic rock, of the rock era, as America went from rock and roll to doo-wop, in a sense, to rock. The Beatles kind of really ushered in the rock era. It still wasn't called rock yet, but soon became rock, because it's not rock and roll. Elvis is rock and roll. Jerry Lee Lewis is rock and roll. What is it? Just rock. And the Byrds created something called folk rock. Folk rock. And what the Byrds did, what they were able to do, what Roger McGuinn was able to do, was Bob Dylan started out primarily as a songwriter, or his manager, Alex Grossman. No. Something like that. His manager saw him primarily as a songwriter. He goes, there's no way we were going to have this guy as a star. And supposedly, the manager formed Peter, Paul, and Mary to have someone sing Bob Dylan songs. They can make a lot of money off other people singing their songs. And they got sent out to the West Coast, and a folk rock group that had been playing on the Sunset Strip, a folk rock group called the Byrds, began to record Bob Dylan songs. Their recording of Hey Mr. Tambourine Man was stunning. One of those songs that just exploded out of the radio and was a completely different sound. The harmonies were incredible. It had a sort of country vibe to it, without still being a rock vibe, but still almost a psychedelic vibe. and Roger McGuinn played a 12-string guitar that was like nothing that I'd ever heard. So this is not a good Byrds album. This is one of their lesser albums. And the problem with the Byrds was guys kept quitting, and people couldn't figure out why. And one rumor was that the leader of the band, Roger McGuinn, was an asshole. But there was plenty of those in the band. But here's who was in the band. So there's no songs here. There's no big Byrds hits on this album. Full Circle, Sweet Mary, Changing Heart, For Free, Born to Rock and Roll, Things Will Be Better. They did a version of Cowgirl in the Sand, I think, before Neil Young. Long Live the King, Borrowed Time, Laughing, and Sky About to Rain. So even if you're a big Nancy Dakota says she can watch and listen while multitasking, and that's one of the things we like to do for you guys. In this band, if you take a look, we can see. If you can see there, in this band, of course, we got Roger McGuinn and we got Gene and Michael Clark, but also sitting there is none other than David Crosby and Chris Hillman. David Crosby and Chris Hillman. So before David Crosby was in Crosby, Stills and Nash, or Crosby, Stills and Nash and Young, he was in the Byrds. Before that, he was in, I think he was in Buffalo Springfield. No, he was not in Buffalo Springfield. But he made that transition, of course, became the biggest star of all. Chris Hillman went on to form a band called Souther, Hillman and Fury, okay, with Richie Fury, who was instrumental in forming Poco. All right, and J.D. Souther, who oftentimes was known as the Fifth Eagle, because he wrote or helped write or helped smooth out so many Eagle songs, and also wrote so many great Linda Ronstadt songs. So the Hollies. David Crosby was not in the Hollies. Graham Nash was in the Hollies. Okay, it's easy to get that confused because now as time passes, Chris Hillman was in Souther, Hillman and Fury, and then formed the Desert Rose Band, and the Desert Rose Band really helped kind of form what became new country music. It became Hello Tina and Mike Lawson. It became the music that for the people who how do I put this? So rock took on a country bent for quite a while. Okay, but there was also country music began to change from the countrypolitan that was so popular in the 70s with horns and strings and very lush sounds and stuff that George Jones was doing. And then there was the outlaw wing, but then there was just flat out kind of going back to the root and just playing and singing. And the Desert Rose Band, which was born out of a rock band, became an important component to that. And gave country music, not only still had the traditional sort of Porter Wagner style that was so popular for such a long time, the Children of Honky Tonk. Greg Paul says, I'm eating, where's your mask? It was up your ass, you know, Greg Paul. So I used to work construction with guys who say it all the time, go, hey, anybody know where my trowel is? It's up your ass, you know. So so there was that wing. There was the outlaw wing that was forming up, and then the Back to Roots. Desert Rose Band was doing that. Never achieved the popularity of later on of Randy Travis and Dwight Yoakam and people like that who just really embraced early country music at its roots. But if you ever get a chance to go back and visit anything by the Byrds, you'll be glad you did. It's like listen to music from another planet, from another era. Listen to 8 Miles High. Listen to I'm Gonna Ride That Horse. Listen to their version of Jesus Is All Right. And listen to their version of Tambourine Man. And you will go, wow, that was like nothing I ever heard. All right. As David Allan Coe said about Roger McGuinn played a 12-string guitar. It was like nothing I ever heard. Roger McGuinn was memorialized in the great David Allan Coe song, Willie Waylon Me. Willie Waylon and Me, which is one of the songs that really made people sit up and notice the outlaw country music of Willie Nelson and Waylon Jennings and Jerry Jeff Walker, etc. So Glenn Roman says, do I have the soundtrack to Tootsie? No. One night you called me up drunk with lipstick on and a dress and asked if you could borrow it, Glenn. So as far as I know, Glenn, you still have it, you know? And by the way, Glenn, if you don't have it, I'd like to give it to you. I'd like to give it to you every chance I get. So Two of the biggest rednecks in West Phoenix are on the listening in today. Two old friends, by the way, and I call them that because they're great friends of mine. Greg Paul and Glenn Roman, two hardcore West Side white boys, are here on the show today. Yeah, Kevin Brown, I get that. You're right. You're right. Broken heart for the Gold Star families. Okie doke. Second album. Second thing we're going to recommend. Oh, that's good on the inside of that bird's eye. I should show that to you. Okay. And we've talked about this band before, and I talk about it a lot because they're my favorite band. And I want to convince people who have never heard them before and already have a predetermined idea about what they are to listen. They're constantly evolving, ever growing, ever changing, and always connected to their own unique sound, ladies and gentlemen, the Grateful Dead. This is one of the great albums of all time. I put it up with anything that Cole Porter did. I put it up with anything that Cole Porter wrote. I put it up with anything that Frank sung. I put up with anything the Beatles did. I put up with anything. American Beauty by the Grateful Dead was a groundbreaking album of country tinged tunes that touched the heart and the soul in a way most music can only help, can only imagine. Fun songs on the first side: Box of Rain, Friend of the Devil, Sugar Magnolia, which became oftentimes the closing song at Dead concerts for years before they came out with the encore. Operator, Candyman. Side two is Truckin', the anthem that even people who don't know the Grateful Dead go, oh, yeah, truckin' tune. Truckin', got my chips cashed in. Addicts in My Life, Till the Morning Comes, Broke Down Palace, which was their homage, not their homage, but which was their tribute to their dear departed keyboardist, Rod McKernan Pigpen. And then, of course, Ripple. And if you want to hear a song that will make you believe that there's more in this world than meets the eye, if you listen to a song that makes you believe that there is an afterlife, that there is something beyond anything that we can imagine, listen to Ripple, because it does not come from this earth or this time. It comes from something absolutely eternal. So you should definitely check that out. The Grateful Dead covered all the way. They created psychedelic rock. They were an important part in the country rock movement. Up until coronavirus hit, the latest iteration of the Dead Company, with three of the original members, was already playing stadiums again without their main lead guitarist, the late, great Jerry Garcia. So there's something there if you haven't listened. Okay. And I mean, listen. See, so much music, so much of what we like is actually just background noise. People just make it to be background noise. You know, maybe it's designed to make people dance, move, but it's not that memorable and it's easy to listen to. But certain artists, the truly great artists, the Miles Davis, the John Coltrane, the Grateful Dead, require active listening, which means in the background, oftentimes it sounds like a cacophony. But then you listen and go, there's something wonderful happening here. So give him a shot, okay? Give him a shot. Give him a shot. Okay? Greg Paul, give him a shot. Okay? Mark Cordes, give him a shot. Okay? Glenn Roman, give him a shot. DJ, give him a shot. You give him a shot, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, I got to give this a shot. I got to give closing out a shot. I said I was going to go short today, but we filled the time because so many of my good friends were here watching, and I love seeing that all of you are gathering here. It's a gathering of the tribe that we do every day at 2 p.m. I want you to come back tomorrow at 2 p.m. I'll interact with you. Let's see. Glenn Roman said he always thought Percy Faith was better than the Dead. Cast your faith to the wind, Glenn. There was a Percy Faith song. He doesn't even know who the hell Percy Faith is. He just knows the name. Okay. DJ Payne likes the Dead. Stoner music. Yes, it is. Hello, Donna Richards, but we got to go. We'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. Hey, remember, if you're interested in Class Clowns this Friday, that's a free show, a free Zoom show. It's the graduation showcase for the current crop of very funny people who decide to use my workshop as a place to work out their new stuff. Write to me, comedyschools@hotmail.com, and I will send you a Zoom link to the free show Friday. Then Sunday night, Tony Vicich presents Sunday Night's Funny. Those tickets are only $10. I'm going to introduce the world to Mary Upchurch. She is one funny lady. As my wife said one time as we were reviewing one of her tapes, she goes, why isn't this woman already famous? Okay. And if you tune in Sunday, you'll see why. You'll see someone who's funny live and funny on Zoom and just a funny human being, and you enjoy yourself for our big show Sunday night. Easy to get tickets for that. ComedySchoolsRadioNetwork.com, ComedySchools.com. All right, we got to go. We got to go. We'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. with you, 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 and you. Until then, stay safe, stay sane, stay sober, and if you bowl, wear a mask on your butthole. Bye-bye. Goodbye, YouTubers. I don't know where that came from. Wear a mask on your butthole. Thanks.